Now, yesterday on social media, I saw people in absolute terror. They were like, oh, France has fallen. There is no more France. Poland now needs to expect massive waves of French refugees because their nation has collapsed. And of course, you know, the Eiffel Tower is on fire. I wanted to visit, by the way, but now I cannot. There is no more Eiffel Tower. Everything is burned down. It is death and carnage inside France. Or at least this is what I would have believed if I actually just read the Twitter posts and watched the gloomy videos without asking the French people that actually live there, part of my subscribers, and go like, what the fuck is going on? And the reality is that it was bad, but it wasn't the doomsday and the apocalypse that I was promised. Apparently, there is still a French government, right? It hasn't collapsed. And so my country is still going to be affected by French politics for the upcoming years. The European Union still has an engine in France in order to keep legislating. So again, right-wingers, like, please stop threatening me with a good time. Like, I understand the civilization has collapsed and you need money for Patreon, but like, at least try to bring more accurate news to my feed. But the interesting thing is that right-wingers are blaming migrants, minorities, yes. There was never football riots in Europe before migration. Leftists are blaming the rich not being taxed enough, right? And of course, the police that is brutal and cruel. And so I actually wanted to get to the bottom of things, like what the fuck did actually happen? Right? Because both sides are disagreeing, and so I need to step in and figure it out for myself. Apparently, there was a football match, right? And this is what we used to call hooliganism back in the day. Apparently, people now have a different interpretation. But here's the question. How does it actually end with this happening? Because Poland also had a football match recently, and there were no riots and lootings, right? Well, the situation is a little bit complex. You see, the psychology of this type of activity, this type of riot, isn't a single unit. It's not, people go outside and they all have like the exact same purpose of going outside, like celebrating the football team or no. You have various factions within the group, right? So like you have the actual football supporters that do go outside in order to celebrate. And these are the majority. So you have like 15,000 people that do go out specifically to have a good time, right? Now, these people provide cover for criminal activity. Because here's the thing, if I go into France right now and I rob a store, I'm visible, right? Like the police immediately apprehends me. But if you have 15,000 people celebrating and you're a criminal and you're actually interested in robbing and looting, these people provide the cover. Because 15,000 people means that it's a lot harder for the police to arrive. It's a lot difficult for the authorities to catch the bad guys. And so when there's a massive celebration, the nefarious individuals, the gangsters, the looters, the criminals, they can operate freely. Now, in a society like Poland, citizens have a moral responsibility to stop crime. In a society like France, people just don't give a shit. Because there have been several cases where a criminal has committed something, someone did try to stop them, and then the person that did try to stop them ended up in prison as well, right? And so if you have that society, if you're fostering that culture, then people, it's like, well, it's not my story, it's not my problem, right? And the mentality, the rich deserves it, right? The landowner, the store owner, he deserves it. He's a capitalist pig. And that's what many French people believe. And so this is why you don't get that in Poland. It's not because, they're white, they're black. No, like you can have an empire that actually cracks down and enforces the law equally, right? It doesn't matter, they're minorities. Well, minorities can also have the riot police called on them, beating the living shit out of them. The people that incited them just dragged into prisons, and there you fucking go. And I guarantee to you, in that system, within a couple of months, you will have Imperial Britain again. But anyway, right, I digress. I just wanted to say that it's annoying when people are looking at a system that's designed to be broken and then believe that, well, a perfect system cannot be created. Of course, a perfect system cannot be created, but one that's good enough has been created in the history. Anyway, right, moving aside. So you have like the actual people that want to celebrate. You have the people that want to commit crime. You have the people that are intoxicated, right? Like every single group of 20,000 people, especially when there's an event like that, has its own group of drunks, has its own groups of people that are high on drugs. And you don't need to have a lot, right? Like if you have 1,000 of them, well, you realize that most people that go outside, they don't go outside to set fire to a car. But once a single car is set on fire, then it creates the idea that this is the type of space we're in, and setting fire to cars is fun. And so this is when, like individuals notice that cars being set on fire do not bring the authorities, and so they set more cars on fire, right? This is how it happens. Then you also have the ideological people, right? Like the Antifa, maybe even, like Islamic communities that have no respect for the French authorities and so on and so forth. They do not respect the secular state. They respect the theocratic regime. And so these people, they already have a beef with the police. And so when they actually see the police, they intensify the beef. Now, what happens when the police cracks down on a crowd? And it doesn't matter if the crackdown is legitimate or not, if the crowd generally deserves it. But like when you start throwing with pepper spray into a crowd, people that were there and weren't participating in the conflict, they get pepper sprayed. And now they view it as an injustice, right? It's like, I was just minding my own business. Why am I getting pepper spray? Why am I getting bullet thrown at me? So now, like those people join in and they have friends. They have, other people that join with them. The police has to crack harder, and that's how you get the civil conflict. And so when you understand the psychology of the crowds, you understand that there are many factions that operate, and they're also manipulated by the incentives that exist in that nation. And the incentive in France is if you see a crime, you walk away, right? You do not intervene. You do not try to stop it. And so because of that, well, you actually do have like the people that want to loot and they want to steal because they may unironically have wealth disparity, right? Every single neighborhood that's poor has those people. They're like, okay, well, now it's a great opportunity because the streets are full, the police cannot respond. Now we get to hit a couple of stores. You have the ideological zealots. You have the people that are intoxicated, the people that are on drugs. You have the police reacting and the crowd counter-reaction. And there you fucking go. You have the Eiffel Tower on fire, which, by the way, wasn't on fire, but it looked good on the internet on camera. And so, of course, you gotta put that up. The Eiffel Tower is fine. If you're going to visit France, you can still see it, right? I was scared for a moment. I thought that if I visit France tomorrow, there will be no Eiffel Tower, but fortunately there is. Still as ugly as... do you notice they only show a picture of it at night? Why do you think that is, right? It's like, if you want to see the Eiffel Tower, you can only see it during the night. You can't see it during the day. That's fascinating. But I still find it funny how... the problem is the same, right? It's complex. It's not a simple problem because it doesn't have a simple solution. But the right is multiculturalism is to blame, and the left is socio-economic issues. We're not taxing people too much. And my question is how do you solve that though? Like if you have two groups of people that hate each other, right? Like the left will never agree with the right will never agree with the left. And yet the problem is there. And how do you solve it? Because I think if you're the government, you can finally understand why the politicians have such low approval ratings, but nothing is being done. Because as long as the public is disunited, as long as the people can't even agree what the problem is, they will not join hands against the system. And the system wins. And I think this is exactly how things are almost everywhere in Europe. You have individuals being pushed into the culture war and completely ossified into thinking that each other are the problem, to the point where it's kind of like a prison, right? Like everyone, like the factions within the prison hate each other. But they're never looking up at the prison guards that are actually creating the perfect environment for the system. This football game, right, is not the issue. The issue is that there are underlying problems, and this football game was just a release valve, right? But I'm telling you, from what I'm seeing, it's like people are just waiting for a reason. So they're waiting for another event, maybe a legislation that cracks down on welfare, or maybe a legislation that increases taxes or raises gas prices, or an event, a terrorist. I don't know what. But looking at how the one football game resonated, if such an event will come to pass, we will see more problems in France. Probably worse than the yellow vests, right? Because this is what I would get if I was in power, right? Just looking at this. It's not that people are obsessed about the football game, is that the conditions that people live in are pretty deplorable, to the point where the public is just waiting for a match. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, we'll see you in the comment section. Take care.